Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Madden NFL 25 New Orleans Saints franchise. I do apologize in advance that these videos are coming out like weeks in between each other, but I have been busy lately. I've been trying to really focus that and doing these videos. So again, I apologize. But in the last episode, we went head-to-head in our first divisional rival matchup against the Carolina Panthers, where it went down to the wire and close to pretty much a shootout. But we ended up reigning victorious 30-26 with Derek Carr's late game heroics. Bryce Young did get hurt during the game, but did come back. It wasn't really too bad. Our run game was very lackluster last week, and despite how much praise I put into it at the end of the year, it has not lived up to expectations. It was essentially a shootout for a majority of the game. Bryce Young and Derek Carr both run over 200. Chris Olave had over 100 yards, and Tommy Tremble and I already forget the second guy because my memory sucks, had over 100 as well for the Carolina Panthers. Our defense has really stepped up, but this week we're going to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 1-2 last week and ended up falling to the Philadelphia Eagles 19-14 in a closely contested matchup, where unfortunately Baker Mayfield did throw 2 interceptions. Not the worst outing for him, but definitely not the best. The Buccaneers are a really solid team nonetheless, I will say. But guess what? This week we're actually going into the prospects this year. We're actually going to be looking a lot at the prospects this week. Yeah, give ourselves a little taste of some of the top guys that are in the draft, especially if we don't play supremely well throughout the regular season. You have the 3-1 start, but we could easily fall. And the number one guy on the list right now is Charlie Edwards, the number 1 quarterback, and currently ranked the number 1 guy. He's ranked in the top 5. Obviously, the game sees that we could potentially be the top fit for him. Quarterback is not really set in stone for us. We do still have Spencer Rattler. We drafted Cam Akers in the 4th round, but we still have Derek Carr. Derek Carr could end up retiring once the year is done. One other guy, in my opinion, who I really am interested in is Dudley Donald at cornerback. The cornerback depth isn't really there outside of quarterback history and also the Debo. They don't really have this really strong number 3, and Dudley could be that guy. And there's also Bob Winslow, both top 5 prospects potentially. You never know, could potentially fall in our drafts if we play well enough, or potentially be number 1 guys if we do move up in the draft if we don't play all that well. Another guy, Patrick Whitaker. This is a cornerback heavy top 5 to say the least. Teams that need a really good secondary, or even teams that don't need a good secondary, could end up finding themselves taking one of these names, and I'm definitely one of those guys in particular. Another name we've seen at quarterback is Lance Dunn. He is projected to be in the 1st round as well. It's not a quarterback heavy draft like last season, I think, and obviously one of those teams that could need a quarterback, but there are other teams that could fall that could also need a quarterback. We're still looking at the secondary. Evan Alford was a guy that also interested me in the draft. This episode we're not going to look too deep into the draft. It's going to be saved for episodes down the line where we'll start looking deeper and deeper when we get more information. I was curious to look at edge rushers, and Martinez was one guy that came to mind, a 1st round protected pick. We're mostly going to be looking at the 1st round for this episode, and as we go down the line we'll look at more players, like I said, and players that could fall in the 2nd, 3rd rounds, maybe day 3 picks. Looking into the interior defense, there's Bernie Clifford, solid defensive tackle. Brian Breesy is our number 1 guy. Cam Jordan is also in the front lines, but he could also end up retiring. So we got to beef up this defensive line for sure, because it is one of the stronger parts of our team. But that's all for the process for now. Like I said, we'll dive deeper into them later. We have to talk about Derek Carr. Derek Carr has been playing really great so far. He's got the 7 touchdowns throughout the year after the 2 he had in week 3's win over Carolina, and 5 interceptions, which albeit, isn't great to look at, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But I did credit him having the weapons, including Chris Olave, Lyle White, Joe Levert, who have really been helping him show off his game, show off his arm strength. We did go through training, obviously. I don't really show off the training because that's probably just boring to watch. It takes too long. We did have upgrades for guys like Pete Warner and Kool-Aid McKinstry. Kool-Aid McKinstry is a guy that I'm really excited to have, and hopefully he does improve his game with due time. We did improve his zone coverage because I want him to be a little more versatile, so essentially play a lot of zone on the defensive side. We also got Alante Taylor, an upgrade. He's actually going to play this week over Hugo Amadi, who's been seeing more of the field than him, and Lyle White, who had the amazing game last week in the win against Carolina. I know 2 touchdowns and a little over 50 yards isn't much, but I mean, he did make the big play at the end of the game, albeit it was Derek Carr and the corner ran a bad route, but still, you got to give credit where credit is due. Here we're going to take a look at this Buccaneers, the playoff bound Buccaneers squad led by Baker Mayfield, who shocked the world in Tampa Bay. He has superstar development. Now, I originally thought that he unlocked it, but I guess he had it prior. Well, he probably unlocked it after the season was done, and it just doesn't show in the game. But it also showed me that he was QB of the year. Now, I'm not sure if that was something that happened in real life. But you see his numbers, 40 touchdowns throughout the regular season last year in his second year in Tampa Bay. It's also the first time he's thrown over 30 touchdowns in the regular season. We did look through his contract. He does have 2 years left on his deal. I could see him getting re-signed with the Buccaneers, honestly, but I don't know if the Buccaneers are really willing to re-sign him once his contract is up. Looking at the rest of this roster, they got guys like Bucky Irving on the squad, as well as Rashad White. They got a solid receiving core with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Mike Evans. They also got Amari Cooper on this team as well. Their offensive line is not supremely strong, but it's not the weakest I've ever seen. They are going to be without Kalijah Kancey. I'm positive I said that name wrong. But they are still going to have guys like Vita Vea, Troy Shoyinka, sorry if I said that name wrong as well, Devon Diablo, Yaya Diaby, and they have one of the better looking secondaries led by Jamal Dean and Antoine Winfield, son of Antoine Winfield, who before played with the Vikings. Yes, I know this information. We did make a slight change in the lineup, with Bub Means being the slot receiver, moving up the slot at number 1 over Cedric Wilson, who's been getting a few touches throughout the entire week. Now, you'll notice in this game there is no sound. I don't know what was happening to my recording, but the sound wasn't coming out or anything. So, obviously, you don't hear the game noise, which is a little unfortunate, but you get to hear my voice. I don't know if you love or hate that. But we're going to get underway for week number 4 of the 2025 NFL season, as the New Orleans Saints will visit to play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The first return, nice juke move on the return. He'll make it all the way to the 29. And we'll look at Baker Mayfield for the first time this year. He's not having a bad year. 1-2 isn't a terrible record. It's still early in the season. He's been pretty accurate, not supremely accurate, but pretty accurate. 4 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions on the season. Not bad numbers to have. This time Tampa Bay will open up with the ball to start the game. And for the first play, Baker Mayfield will back up, try to throw, and it's incomplete. Threw it into traffic. Kool-Aid McKinstry makes the play. Still waiting for that first interception by him on the year. It's going to be great, trust me. So the Saints show pressure. He's got a man on the left side. That's incomplete. Should have been a completion. And if he threw it right, that could have went for a touchdown. Instead, it's now 3rd and 10. Go to the right side. That's caught. Held on to for the first down. Paulson and Debo couldn't stop him. So it's a new set of downs now for the what am I talking about? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As Baker Mayfield will throw again, wide open on the left side. That's caught for a first down. That's Chris Godwin, the long-time Tampa Bay Buck, as he'll move the chain to 2nd and 1. They're not going to run. It's a flash and fake, and he's got no time to decide where he's going to throw it. It's Tyrann Mathieu, the former Chief. He gets another sack. I believe that's his 2nd on the year. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong because, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's 3rd and 9. Man in motion. They're going to throw again because they have no choice. To the right side, that's caught, but he'll be pushed out of bounds by Justin Simmons or Isaiah Simmons. We're not on the Broncos, man. So it forces the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to have to punt the ball away on the first drive. They're going to kick it out of bounds. It's going to be set at the 12. And now we got Derek Carr. He won the game for this New Orleans Saints last week against Carolina. Can you do it again? He's pretty much 60% accurate because What a 16-900. I'm stupid. Anyways, he's been pretty accurate. The interceptions aren't great, but he's got 7 touchdowns on the year to start the year, and he's one of the best quarterbacks throwing the ball wise and getting yardage. First play is a throw to the left side for Joe Lavert. He's going to get a gain of 4, 72 yards last week for him. He's been getting the ball quite a bit, but not the most, obviously. Next play is an outside handoff to Madison. He will get the first down as he'll gain 7. And our first injury on the field, it's early, is Taysom Hill. And he just came back a week ago, so he'll go to the tunnel. Hopefully he'll be all right. As we'll move to first down again. Outside handoff bounces it right. Madison's got room to run. He'll carry it all the way to the 38. And that's a first down. And now another injury. This time it's on the Tampa Bay side. It's Jamal Dean favoring his wrist, so he'll go to the tunnel. Already 2 injuries on the Saints' first drive. Quick throw to the left side. That's caught by Foster Moreau. He breaks the tackle, runs over Winfield, and he'll make it past midfield. Moreau pretty much taking Taysom Hill's place. Next play is a handoff. That is to Kendre Miller. He'll be shut down around the line of scrimmage. As we reach 3rd and 2. Next play is a handoff to Madison as he'll barely edge out that first down and keeps the drive line, moves the chain to 2nd and 1. And this time it's a play action fake. He's got room to throw. It's caught by Moreau. He's got a lot of room to run as he'll head inside the 20 for another first down. And that's already 2 completions for Foster Moreau, who's done quite a bit this year for the Saints so far. Of course, when you borrow in Taysom Hill's injury, because he hasn't exactly been healthy. Saints do nothing on 1st and 2nd down. It's now 3rd and 7. Carl's going to have to drop back to throw. Goes to the left side. That's incomplete, meant for Bub Means. So it's now 4th and 7. And that will force the New Orleans Saints to either kick it or try for a 4th down conversion. And they won't even try to do it early in the game. They'll try to attempt a kick. It's a little over 30 yards out. This one will be good, and Blake Grupe will open up the game with 3 points. I also want to mention that the Saints have only scored a touchdown once in the first quarters. That's a nice throw to the left side. He's got room to run. That's a first down for Cade Otton. And they're already around Saints territory. 3rd and 8. Baker Mayfield to throw wide open on the right side. That's caught for a first down, as the Buccaneers again move the chains on a big play. They haven't really been running the ball that much. And when you got weapons like the Buccaneers have, you don't really have to. And that's complete to Chris Godwin. That's not Chris Godwin, sorry. To Jalen McMillan, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will move the chains. They're inside the 20. I told you my editing skills, they're amazing. But it's 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers. Saints need to get a big stop. Saints don't have a great defense, and least of all a great red zone defense. As that goes deep to the right side, that's incomplete, meant for Chris Godwin, as they won't get a touchdown. Next play is throw to the right side again. That's incomplete. Nice play by Alontae Taylor, who's playing over Hugo Amadi at slot today. Now it's 3rd and 10. They're going to try to go for a halfback screen, and that play is made around the line of scrimmage. And that's a great play downfield to prevent the first down, but the Buccaneers are going to go for it anyways on 4th and 1. You don't play to tie, you play to win. Play action fake. Got the defender looking for the running back, and that will benefit the Buccaneers as they'll get another first down. And that's to Cade Otton. So the Buccaneers 2nd and goal, handoff, and that will be a touchdown. First of the day, and that is not Bucky Irving, it's Rashad White. Bucky Irving did get hurt earlier on that drive. Of course, I didn't show it because I didn't forget. I just purposely didn't show it. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will open up with a touchdown. As I mentioned earlier, New Orleans has not scored a touchdown since week 1 on their opening, or has not scored a touchdown in the first quarter since week 1 against the Dolphins. But it's now 7-3, under 2 minutes left to go for New Orleans. Derek Carr to drop back. He'll make a quick throw to Olave. which is who's top 3 in receiving numbers coming into this game. And Derek Carr, this game is actually number 1 in throwing the football. I didn't show it. Quick handoff to Madison. He'll be taken down at the 39. That's a first down. And of course, I again skipped a big play that happened, but there was an injury. He won't come back for the rest of the game. And that's a quick throw to Miller on the halfback screen. That's a first down. He's down at the 3. And as you probably saw, it was Alexander Madison who ended up getting injured. He's actually out for the rest of the game, so Miller has to fill in for the rest of the game. It's 7-3 to end the first quarter. Not a lot of offense played, mostly been the defense, but the Saints are in the red zone looking to fire back with a touchdown of their own. It's 1st and goal now at the 3. They got a man in motion. They'll hand this one off to Miller, and they'll actually play action fake it. It's caught. It's not. It's sacked. Yaya Diaby gets the sack. He's now at 2.5 on the season. So they have to try it again. 2nd and goal out to Bub Means, and he'll find his way into the end zone for his first touchdown of the regular season and the 8th passing touchdown for Derek Carr, as the New Orleans Saints will retake the lead with their first touchdown of the ball game. And now it's 2nd and 9 for Tampa Bay. Saints shows blitz, and it works, as now he's sacked by Jordan Howden. Loss of 7. He's the second safety in this game to get a sack. How crazy. It's not the front 7. And now to go with the halfback screen to the left side this time. White room to move. He'll make it to the 34-yard line. Great tackle by Jackson. And they'll force them to kick a field goal. A punt. So the Saints get the ball back. See, my commentary, I got to work on it. But Derek Carr, he'll step back, find a hole in the defense, and he'll get a first down. Sometimes you got to use your own legs. He's called Derek Vehicle for a reason. Now it's 2nd and 2 for New Orleans. Hand this one off to Miller. He'll break off a player, and he'll get the first down. And we got another injury on the field, which is not ideal, but it's 1st and goal. Looking back at the Saints offense, who's been mixing things up. Outside handoff to Miller. He's got room to go. He will be slightly short of the first down. 2nd and inches. And it's, I'm going to say his name wrong, it's Ramsick. He's going to be out for the rest of the game. Play action fake for Carr as he'll find Levert. He'll get the first down inside the 30. And Derek Carr, he hasn't missed a beat. We praise him for a reason. He's making sure we don't regret it. Big play to left side. That is a wide receiver screen for Bub Means. That goes nowhere. Loss of 2. So that was 3rd and 4. Ideally, you don't want to kick a field goal in this scenario, but you got to take it. Throw to the right side. That's Levert, who ends up going the outside. He'll get a first down, rounding the corner. That's now his 3rd catch of the day. It's now 3rd and goal. Tampa Bay's been holding things out. They're going to try to hand this one off to Miller as he'll run into the defense. And the Saints go 3 and out in the red zone. They do make the extra point. So now it's 13-7. 4:11 left to go in this first half. That's an outside toss to Rachaad White. Could have had, or Bucky Irving, could have had more yards. Instead, he ran into his teammates, so it results in only 10. Baker Mayfield to throw, finds a man on the left side. That's caught for a first down. That's Amari Cooper this time. Newly acquired Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Love to see it for him. He's still going strong in the NFL. Now 2nd and 8. 2 minutes left. A little over 2 minutes left. And they'll try to throw again to left side. That is caught. He won't lose it on contact, and that's Micah Evans, this team's #1 receiver at the age of 32. 2nd and 4, and they reach the 2-minute warning. Saints show pressure, doesn't work. Passes to the outside. He'll round the corner and get into the end zone. And it's a touchdown to Chris Godwin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they look to take the lead. Hopefully 14-3 if they want to risk it, 15-3. And that's a nice throw. And man-to-man has not worked for us. The secondary has not been consistent for us all year. Man-to-man coverage just has not been the go-to. Tampa Bay does make the extra points. Now it's 14-13. Hugo Amadi to return this. He finds a route, and he makes it all the way to the 41 on a really good return. One of the best returns you'll see with the new kicking rule this year. But the Saints are in the 2-minute warning. They do have timeouts to use. Carr loses. Now he has no time to throw. He's sacked by Yaya Diaby with his second sack of the day already. Second sack of the first half is now 2nd and 18. Saints are using up some of that clock. Gotta make something big happen, but you don't have to force it. Play action fake now for Carr, wide open on the right side. That's Chris Olave as he'll get the first down, move the chains. They're in Tampa Bay territory, and Chris Olave is the guy that you can rely on just to make something happen. It's now 2nd and 4. They'll try to jet sweep to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It doesn't work, and the Saints will elect to hurry up instead of using one of their 2 timeouts. You don't want to waste this. 3rd and 7. Carr drops back to throw. He'll call his own number, and he'll slide. He won't really be able to slide, but he'll get to the 7-yard line. So they do manage to make the field goal kick a little bit closer if they have to kick the field goal. Carr, Bossy, last play, tries to make something happen on the left side. Instead, he'll just throw it across his body, which is very risky. But the pass will be complete, and the field goal will be good. So after the first half, it's 16-14 in favor of New Orleans. And it's been an up and down game on both sides of football, really, for both teams. No team has really been able to get away so easily, and the defensive from neither squad has really been able to step up all that well. But we're going to look at the games around the league. It's a pretty interesting week in week 4. Every team plays, which, I mean, that's to be expected. But the Carolina Panthers, they're down big, 24-7 to Drake May. Carolina's still looking for their first win of the regular season. Need to get out of this losing streak. Right, to come into this year, it's only 4, so it's not that huge of a deal. The Bears are also down huge this time to the Bengals, who had a shootout last week against the Bills. They're looking to repeat exactly what they did last week. The Bears are getting dogged, and we'll head to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's probably a different name at this point because I know they changed it. But the Falcons, they trail only by 3 to Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts. And the Falcons will end up seeing in week 6 after our next week game against the New York Jets. Now we're going to go into the second half. Chris Olave, 6 targets, 6 receptions, and has 100 yards already on the day. He's looking to maintain his top 3 standing in the receiving yard department. As he hand the ball off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he'll get the first down. It's another injury to an offensive lineman for us. But we'll kick this one out to Bub Means as he will not get the first down. He'll be a little short. Carr's been almost perfect. 18 of 20 throwing the football is not an easy feat. But we got another injury. It's Blake Sherwood with an ACL sprain. He'll miss the rest of the game. Hopefully no more time other than that. But it's 3rd and inches if we got to go to the patented fullback dive. It's Foster Moreau who gets the first down. We tend to go to this pretty often in 3rd and inches. I mean, why not? It's the easy play, but sometimes it doesn't work. But 3rd and 1, hand out to Miller as he'll bounce it outside. He's got a chance to score, but Antoine Winfield catches him, prevents the touchdown. That's one of his best runs throughout the entire year. Our run game is actually doing pretty well this week. And now a toss play to Miller, and as I say that, I jinxed myself because we lose 2 on the next play. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have thought it either, but it's 3rd and goal. As Tampa Bay looks to get another red zone stop, as he'll try to throw, and Carr will overthrow Levert, I believe, and they'll have to kick another field goal within 5 yards. Not ideal for the Saints. They'll make it a 5-point game. But again, you gotta score in those scenarios, especially within 5 yards. So Tampa Bay will get the ball back. It's 3rd and 6. Now, as Baker Mayfield will step back to throw, he's got a man on the left, and that's a caught. Didn't lose it on the contact by Tyrann Mathieu, as that's another first down, another 3rd down conversion. We're not doing great on 3rd downs. Saints show pressure, and they'll actually get it. It's a loss of 11, and that ends up being Nathaniel Watson who gets the sack. Now it's 3rd and 15. The Buccaneers got a lot of work to do. Baker Mayfield will stand in the pocket. He'll just check it down for 3 yards, play it safe. But the Saints defense comes through, forces the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to have to punt the ball away. This one will be deep to Lau White. He'll wave around. Fair catch. Raiders having a pretty good game this time around. 77 yards, which I think is the most he's had in a game so far this year. Playing back up behind Madison. First play of the new drive. Thrown to the right side. That is caught for a first down. That's Lyle White. That's a tough catch to make. And a tough throw to make for Carr moving. But the Saints try to continue to move the chains. Another play action fake to the right side. That is intercepted. It was meant for White again, as this ball will be returned inside the 25, and that's Bryce Hall, the former Jet, who picks the ball off, and he just undercut that route. It's not a bad throw by Carr, but it's just a little underneath. If he puts a little more air on that, there's a chance, but there's also a chance it gets intercepted. But one of the only mistakes that Carr has made all game, as the Buccaneers get the ball back, it's a loss of 2 on the run attempt. Defense holds up, and there's another injury. It's Chase Young, who did miss some time 2 weeks ago. He had an injury. He missed the game against the 49ers, bounces it outside. That's caught for a first down. That's Godwin, as the Buccaneers find themselves inside the 10 and for inside the red zone for, I believe, the second time today. They look to try to take the lead. Baker Mayfield will try to throw the ball again. He's going to round the pocket, call his own number, and he is untouched as he makes his way into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they'll take the late lead in the 3rd quarter. The right side of the field was just wide open, and they're going to elect to go for 2, make it a field goal game. Not a bad decision. If you don't get it, it's only 1 point. Baker Mayfield, he'll try to throw this ball wide open on the right side is Godwin. And it's now 22-19 on a 4-play drive by the Buccaneers after the interception thrown by Derek Carr. And that big mistake. It's only one, and sometimes in the NFL, that's all it takes. It's just one big mistake, and all of a sudden it's turned the Buccaneers' way. Weird how there's no momentum in this game. I will point that out a tidbit, which I'm kind of glad there isn't. Momentum was always kind of weird, which I know you could always just turn it off, but it was always kind of weird. But the Saints, with a little over a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter, 13 minutes in the second half, another play action fake, and that's incomplete as Carr tried to get rid of it, got hit as he threw it. Luckily, it wasn't picked off again, but 3rd and 3, they'll bounce this one outside for Miller as he'll manage to get the first down. That's a nice run. Resets the downs. It's now 3rd and inches. Across to the final play of the 3rd quarter, they'll hand this one to Hilaire. He bounces outside. Great blocking by Olave as Hilaire will get the first down. And we're going to the 4th quarter. The Saints are down by 3. That interception ultimately costing the Saints. But there's still a whole 4th quarter left to go. So you can't really count New Orleans out yet. Meanwhile, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have to stay poised. They got the big play that they needed. They just have to keep things moving. And the defense had to step up in a big way as we see them do just that. And Yaya Diaby now has his 3rd sack of the day. He had 1.5 come in, and this actually ties how much he had last season. He had 4.5 last year. Big throw to the left side. That's incomplete. There is a late flag on the play, and they're going to rule this defensive pass interference on the Buccaneers. On Divine Diablo, the former Raider, got a nice 3-year deal with Tampa Bay. That's a big flag. That's going to cost them 2nd and goal with time to throw him wide open on the left side. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and he's always going to come through in a big way. He's going to score for the Saints, and the Saints will retake the lead early in the 4th. And that's not, I believe, his 3rd touchdown of the year. I'm probably wrong because, trust me, I know I probably am. But the Saints are now up by 4 with 10 minutes left to go. Plenty of time for the Bucs to do something wide open on the left side. He had to come back for it. That's Chris Godwin. If he doesn't have to come, if that's a throw over his head, that's probably a touchdown. So the Buccaneers, unfortunate, the Saints catch a break, but they won't hear as that's a nice completion to the right side. Amari Cooper with the first down. The pass coverage has not been amazing for New Orleans, not only in this game, but across the whole last 3 games outside of the game against Tua and the Dolphins. But 3rd and 9, they actually managed to get the first down as they find a man up the middle. That is Amari Cooper again, who ends up moving the chains and resets it down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 8 minutes left to go. They'll hand this one off to Bucky Irving as he'll manage to make it almost a first down play. He manages to gain 8. It's now 3rd and inches as they don't get the first down. Mayfield all alone in the backfield. Saints show blitz and it almost worked. McKinstry couldn't jar the ball out of Mike Evans. He's one of the toughest receivers in the NFL, so that's what you'd expect. So now it's 3rd and 11 as the Saints managed to pull back and stop the Buccaneers from doing much on their next drive. You want the first down. That's a nice throw in coverage pretty much, and that's incomplete. And Shaq Thompson is there. It's now 4th and 7. If you're Tampa Bay, you probably don't go for it, but they're going to go for it anyways. This is their second time going for it on 4th down in this game alone. 4th and 7. Mayfield to step back to throw. He'll find him on the right side. That's a nice catch for a first down. It's Amari Cooper again. So the Saints with another 4th down conversion. That's their second of the day. Haven't been stopped. There's pressure in front of Mayfield, but it doesn't matter as it's caught in the end zone by the backup tight end, Payne Durham, as the Buccaneers will take the late game lead. They'll kick a field goal with 3:51 left. That is now a 3-point lead in favor of Tampa Bay. A 15-play drive, a long drive, and that's the kind of drive you want to have late in the game. Make it long and make it count. That's what she said. But 1st and 10, 3:47 left for the Saints. They're going to try a screenplay and ends up working out somehow. This is a 4-yard gain for Marquez Valdes-Scantling. 3:19 left to go. Derek Carr hand this one off to Miller. He'll find his way upfield. 100 yards for him now as he will barely miss the first down. It's now 3rd and 2:47 left. And we're going to go with the fullback dive. Hand off to Moreau. That's a first down. 2:42 left. Derek Carr looking for the late game heroics again like he had last week. 1st and 10. 2:20. Carr to step back to throw, trying to buy some time. He'll find Valdes-Scantling, who manages to fight his way past the line of scrimmage and gets the first down, or first down marker, I should say. But now 1:30 left in counting. It's 3rd and 1. Got to make something happen. Hand off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he'll be tackled forward for the first down. Saints opt not to use a timeout. 1:15 left to go. Man in motion, trying to switch things up. We already know what they're running because I showed it. Carr to the right side. That's Chris Olave, who doesn't turn around for the football. And if he does, that's possibly a touchdown. Instead, it's now 2nd and 10. The Saints will run it. Hand it off to Miller. He goes nowhere. And there's a minute left now. 3rd and 10. As that play for the Saints meant for Olave might just cost them. Carr to step back. He'll go deep for Olave again in double coverage. And thank God for New Orleans it wasn't intercepted. So it comes down to this. 4th and 10. If they don't get it, the game isn't over. But if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a first down, it might as well be. So now Carr, trying to find out what he's going to do, tries to get the defense to jump. And still step back. He'll run out the pocket, call his own number. He'll slide inside the 20. And the Saints get a first down. Carr saves it. Inside 30 seconds left. They now got a new set of downs. You don't have to get a touchdown. A field goal ties the game up. He'll go to the right side for Levert. That's overthrown and out of bounds. And now we're at 23 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10. And they'll hand this one off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Try to fool the defense. It doesn't work. He'll only get 5. The Saints will use their second timeout with under 20 seconds left to go. And maybe they just did that just to get the Saints closer in the event they have to kick the field goal. 17 seconds. Carr to throw. He'll run away. He'll run out the pocket. He's got room to run. He's in the end zone. And despite Olave being there, he'll score. And the Saints regain the lead, and Carr again with the late game heroics. He did it last week. He's doing it this week. And he is a man on a mission this year. This might be his last year here, but he's not going down like a punk. And look at it again. The defense nowhere to be found on the left side of the field. Great blocking. So now, again, under 15 seconds left to go for the other squad. Tampa Bay doesn't have much time to do anything. And because of the field goal rule, they can't touch it back. So they have to return this. They'll make it all the way to the 30 with 7 seconds left to go. So the Saints going to drop the defense back. Baker Mayfield has to make something happen to go to the left side. That's a nice throw and nice catch by Mike Evans. Keeps his feet in bounds. So now this makes this last play a lot more possible. 2 seconds left. You have to go into the end zone. It's all or nothing, or hope for a defensive pass interference. He'll go deep middle of the field. That play is incomplete. And the New Orleans Saints will win it late again, 33-29. And how the hell did they do it again? I'll tell you what, I don't know. And Derek Carr is a man on a mission looking to keep his job if it was ever in jeopardy. And who knows, he might have just secured it. Look at the stats. Both Carr and Mayfield threw over 70%. This is definitely one of the best games I've seen in terms of quarterbacks running football. He did have the interception, but both guys were still throwing it like it was nothing. For once, our run game was actually really good. Madison did get injured in this game. He was out for the rest of it. Hopefully it's not a long-term injury, but Kendrick Miller stepped up when he needed to. Olave again with another 100-yard performance. He didn't touch the ball in the second half at all, which is a little unfortunate. But hey, sometimes these things happen. You got reliable guys around you. Blocking was excellent outside of the 3 sacks that Yaya Diaby had. As I mentioned, he tied his season high last season with 4.5, so just that much closer to breaking his own record. His record is 7.5 in his career. But that'll do it for this week of football, as we win 33-29 and we maintain our lead in the NFC South. We look at the injuries and we have 4 new injuries. Pharrell and Neal were already injured during practice. As we saw, Brees was already injured before the game even started. But they're all going to be out for the next 2 weeks, which is not ideal since against the Falcons and the Jets. We're going to look around the league again. Preston Kennedy managed to get the win for the Titans. They best the Browns. James Hayes loses yet another one, which is not ideal. Jeffrey Simmons had 2 sacks. Nice to see. Cincinnati Bengals dogged Chicago Bears. Joe Burrow with another 4 touchdown performance. He's now 8 in his last 2 games. And Jamar Chase wasn't even the deciding factor. The Patriots also killed the Carolina Panthers. Drake May with 4 touchdowns on the day, which is likely his best performance of the season. The Jets, who will play next week, got destroyed by Josh Allen and the Bills. That's 4 touchdowns for Josh Allen. Brees Hall was the one that really looked super consistent. Brandon Monroe did not have an amazing night out there at quarterback. And Devontae Adams, who I forgot was even on this team, didn't have that great of a night either. The Raiders ended up winning a close one over Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Neither quarterback played certainly amazing. It came down to the run game and the defense. The Giants lose another one. Dallas remains undefeated while the Giants remain winless. Lawrence House came to this game with 9 interceptions. He now has 11 on the year already through 4 games. And just so you can see it as proof, 11 interceptions, which is the most in the entire NFL. Malik Willis for the Packers is second, and Carr is at number 3. It's not ideal, but he's still performing really well this year. I can't complain with how well he's playing. I was looking at some of the stats around the league. We'll dive deeper into these as the season goes by. Chris Olave is number 2 in the receiving numbers despite the singular touchdown. But that'll do it for week number 4. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know my editing skills, I'm trying to get those to be better, and I know videos haven't been coming out consistently as of late, but I'm gonna work on that for sure. Videos will be coming out a lot more consistently, hopefully in drills. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.